Hey, Matt,
Hey,
I got a
bud.
joke for you.
Okay.
What do you call a planet of people who dislike Doctor Who?
I honestly have no idea.
Planet of the pudding brains.
There's no point in being grown up if you can't be childish sometimes.
Would you like a jelly baby? Shut up!
Welcome, 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 Whovians, to a brand new episode of Musings of a Pudding Brain. I'm Adam,
And I'm Matt.
and we're still catching you up on Doctor Who in general at this point.
Correct. Plowing my way through season 8, doing a marathon recap here.
Yeah, dude, that's
But
congratulations.
thank you. Yes.
My
yeah.
condolences as well.
Why your condolences? Well, because it's a mortuary. That's kind of our general greeting.
Yeah,
But we'll get to that episode. Yes, it was definitely a couple of marathon sessions, pushing my way all the way from Time Heist, which was episode 5, all the way through the end, through episode 13 of season 8, and
Whew.
it was all well worth it. It's a very up and down journey, very dark season for the Doctor.
It was.
A lot of things predicated on his question of whether or not he's a good man,
And
because he's had to make all these rough decisions and people have died because some of them, and it's just that constant back and forth of I don't care, oh yeah, no, I kind of do, damn it, all right, come here, let me help you.
like, and clearly as the season went along, the idea of being a good man also changed.
Yes, and also questions of how much are you willing to sacrifice in order for the greater good or for your principles. And yes, you can save the world, you can save these people, but something is going to be sacrificed because of it, and can you live with that?
Right.
Yeah, Peter Capaldi is very kind of dark and conflicted Doctor in a lot of ways. He just doesn't know where he stands, or if he cares, or is he becoming a villain.
Right.
And a lot of questions as to how far is this guy really going to go.
Yeah,
Will he cross the line and just take somebody out?
Well, because you have to remember, well, you probably don't remember because it's part of classic Who as well. There's a version of the Doctor called the Valeyard. He is between the 10th regeneration and the final regeneration. And he actually put the Doctor on trial. So, like,
Wow.
he's a point where that Doctor is kind of a dark version of the Doctor. So that's, I mean, and that's in the Doctor's back, in the back of his mind. He's like, am I becoming the Valeyard? Is this the next logical step towards that? And I think as the season went along, he just kind of went, no, I'm just angry. I'm just a grumpy old guy at this point.
Yeah, get off my porch. It's my planet. You pudding brains are just living here.
I know.
And I love you, but I am constantly disappointed and ashamed of you all. Can't believe you've progressed this far.
You guys can be so much better.
Yeah, but you're not. You just choose not to.
No. So yeah, Time Heist. We're going to be kicking off with that one.
Yeah, so Time Heist, episode 5. Very much, as the title implies, a heist.
Yes.
But there again, it opens up and nobody knows why they're all there, and
Nobody
No.
knows, who summoned them, what the mission is.
right, and who the architect is behind it. But then they have the recordings of their voices saying, "No, I submitted to this memory wipe." Okay, why would we do this, and why in the universe would the Doctor want to rob a bank?
Yeah, exactly.
What has he been manipulated into? What's going on? And as the storyline progresses, again, how much are you willing to sacrifice? Because members of the team become trapped by this telepathic monster who's literally going to make their brains into pudding
Yes.
if they're caught. And one of the contingency plans, it's in a quote-unquote escape route, which the Doctor leads them to believe is actually poison. And it's, hey, if you're going to get squished,
Yeah.
take this route out. It'll be painless. So then, people decide to sacrifice themselves, or they get caught in a bad situation and they got to take the poison, and the doctor gives it to them. You're like, wow, he's really just like, yeah, kill yourself. I mean, it's better than the alternative.
Exactly.
And as it progresses, you find out, okay, the doctor is actually behind this. He's the architect. Why are they robbing a bank? It still hasn't been explained.
The why they're robbing the bank was one of those questions that just, it was like, wait, why? Now, one thing that I did love about this episode was it brought back for me something that has been missing from new Doctor Who that showed up in classic all the time. Running down the same corridor with either different lighting or a different angle to it. It was always the same corridor.
Right. Well, it's an industrial thing.
Yeah.
It's the bank's neat and orderly. Of course, it's all going to look the same. Shh, quiet.
What level are we on? I don't know. The lighting's red, so number 3?
Yeah, the spray paint on the wall from the change in the numbers on the corridor wall is still wet. It's like, why is this? Oh, never mind. Construction in this area. But, and again, it turns out they're actually there to save the critter that's been turning people into Jello Brain, because it's there against its will. Its mate is captured, and they figure out, oh, no, wait, no, this is why we're doing this. And it's actually the bank president who is trying to have them taken out for robbing her bank. Regret as an old woman comes back, okay,
like,
you
hey,
have to be able to do this. I want to try and make this right.
I'll give you the exact date and all that stuff to do it. That twist at the end, I was like, especially since there was kind of a double twist at the end. It was just like, here's the emotional twist. You're saving the creature that you've been running away from this entire time.
Right, and the people who you thought died to help progress this mission and to save this thing. Oh, they're not actually dead. They were teleporters, and that's how we're getting out of here. So here you go again. Everybody with a teleporter. We're out, off to the TARDIS.
Yeah.
And it comes to a very happy ending, and oh, he's not being nefarious. He's doing a rescue mission. That makes sense. That's in standing with the Doctor.
It's one of the better episodes of the season.
It is. It's well done. It kind of keeps you guessing the entire time as to who's behind what and what are the motivations, and not only between the side characters, why are they in on this?
Right.
Again,
every once in a while you do see it's just like, oh, you have a specific ability. That's why you're here.
Right. Oh, you're a shape changer and you hate it because it's the rogue question. I can't touch anybody. I can't be close because I'm going to look back at them.
Right.
And what was the quote? How can you love somebody who looks back at you with your own eyes?
Yeah, that's creepy.
Which is how the Doctor figures out, the architect, I hate him. I hate him. Mm-hmm. He's arrogant. He's egotistical. He's manipulative. I absolutely hate him. He's me.
And gets happy about it.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, really weird moment there of self-realization, Doc, but rock and roll, dude.
All right.
And,
so next up was episode 6, The Caretaker.
The Caretaker, or as I like to refer to it as the Big Brother episode. Because at this point, it's fairly obvious that there's not going to be any romantic entanglement between Clara and the Peter Capaldi. Matt Smith had a chance. He was in Flint there, man. All he had to do was reach down and take it. But Peter Capaldi has no interest.
Nope.
Just don't touch me.
Yeah.
Or anything. But he very much takes on the, you're gonna do what now with my little sister kind of thing.
Exactly.
And just the entire episode, okay, yes, there's the battle droid that's going to wipe out humanity. That is totally secondary in the Doctor's eyes. He is there purely to sniff out who this guy is who's with Clara.
He's like, wait, she's interested in him and he's interested in her. All right, I gotta make sure that he's a good upstanding person.
Yeah, and I don't like him.
Yeah.
Because nobody will ever be good enough for
of course
Clara.
not.
So no, I don't like him, and he keeps teasing him about being a PE teacher, and okay, PE, you go do that.
It's maths.
Okay, that's fine. Count the laps. That's fine. Yeah, you can't possibly be a math teacher, right? And just keeps ragging on him and ragging on him.
Now, the discussion between the two men regarding the soldier. When it does, because I believe this is the episode that the Doctor does pry it out of Danny that he served in the military.
Yes. Yeah, he does. And they start the immediate back and forth between, oh, no, I know him. He's an officer. He's going to get people to do his dirty work for him.
He gets everyone else to do it instead.
Right, and that continues on the rest of the season between
God,
the
yeah.
two of them. And it's kind of one of those things where the Doctor eventually accepts Danny to a certain degree, but is still just going to rag on him every chance he gets because you'll never be good enough.
Nope.
But even at the end of the Caretakers, after he does this stunning flip over the battle droid, who, for an alien engine of destruction, why it doesn't have 360 vision and back defenses, I would assume this would be standard alien tech, but
I don't know.
apparently a forward vault over it will totally mess up its targeting system. But hey, the Doctor's around, anything is possible.
True.
You have 1,000 chances to die, but you only need that one.
I do also like that this was the episode where 12's 10 was showing, because it was all gadgets.
Oh, absolutely. He was having a great little tech romp, and of course spoiled by the meddling humans.
Yeah.
He'd have gotten away with it if it weren't for you meddling kids.
One of them literally a kid.
Yes, one of them literally a kid. And I love that exchange. Yes, I'm the Doctor. Oh, and I'm a disruptive influence. It is a pleasure to meet you. Get out.
Leave. But yeah, the also Capaldi's favorite. Capaldi grew up as a Doctor Who fan, and his favorite was the third Doctor, who was trapped on Earth at the time and did everything with gadgets.
So he was very much the James Bond, Inspector Gadget, everything. We're going to play with our toys here kind of Doctor.
Exactly.
Nice.
Have you watched Gotham?
Yes, I have watched Gotham.
The actor playing Pennyworth, Alfred.
Yes.
The third Doctor is his father.
Oh, excellent.
Yes.
Nice. So acting is in the family. That's why I like him too.
It was actually one of those. They also completely look alike. So one of these times we're going to do an episode from the third Doctor, and you're going to be like, okay, yeah, the James Bond reference is even bigger with this guy.
and it was definitely not a case of the milkman dropping by. The genetics don't lie on this.
No, they don't.
Fair enough.
All right. So, yeah, episode 7. Well, yes.
Oh, I was going to say, and the wrap-up of the Caretakers is the Doctor, of course, giving a little grudging respect to Pink because the line he delivers about, there's only one thing I have to worry about is being good enough for her. And I just kind of see the Doctor go, all right, I don't want to like you, but good answer. That's a good start.
That's the right answer.
Yeah. So he the big brother going, okay, all right, just don't screw up or I'll have you. No, it's one of those. And then in the following episode, the Doctor completely just tips the scales on Clara with the Kill the Moon, where it's, okay, and we're going to take the disruptive influence student who, well, yeah, we're going to show her the universe and watch her puke off the side after seeing the expanse of the galaxy. So we're going to take her to the moon, because that's a great idea.
Yeah.
And then end up finding out that, one, there's spiders on the moon, which I totally believe. It would figure if something's going to be creepy on the moon, it's either going to be a spider or a crab.
Spider. It's always a spider.
Yeah.
And for me, I look at crabs and I'm like, no, those are underwater spiders.
Those are spiders with armor. They are upgraded. Those are rock spiders. No, I totally agree. Just generally creepy creatures.
Yeah.
Crabs, tasty, but again, I'm going to whomp you with a mallet. And
even after you've been boiled.
Yes, even after you're already dead, I'm still going to make sure you're really, really dead. And as it progresses, they find out, okay, the moon is actually an egg, and these are bacteria because they have no DNA, RNA. And what are they feeding off of, and why does the moon have gravity? Oh, because it's an egg, and it now has mass in the center of it.
There's a center to the mass.
And it becomes a very moralistic episode about, okay, do you kill the one innocent to potentially save the masses? Do you have the right to make that call? And the Doctor pretty much stubs like, fixed point in time. I can't make this decision for you. I can't see it.
This isn't me.
Yeah.
I'm not part of the situation. I'm not part of this I'm not making the call. Not
Right. Which, in a way, is a little duplicitous of the Doctor, because so many times he's claimed, this is my planet too. I walk on your land. I breathe your air. But you know what? I'm not human. This is you guys.
Yeah.
Wait, what just happened here?
I know.
And just totally ditches the student, Clara, and the astronaut up there to make this decision for the planet. And they do the right and just thing, and it's like, this, we can't do this. This is a humanitarian question. Everybody's involved. Throw it out to the planet. Do we kill this creature, or do we just roll the dice and see what happens? And human beings, being the glorious human things that we are, and
Yes.
accepting and all that, of course, the planet votes to kill the creature.
Well, yeah.
And at the moment where the astronaut is going to follow the orders and detonate it, Clara smacks the abort and just lets the creature hatch, which turns out in the long run to be the correct and noble choice.
Because immediately there's a new moon there.
Right, the creature erupts out, the moon disperses, the Earth is not harmed, and it immediately lays another egg, giving us a new moon, literally.
Yes.
And stabilizing the planet, so this nature's cycle is maintained, which is another theme from this season. There's a whole lot of let nature do its thing, stop mucking about, leave it be.
Stop it.
It's there for a reason. You don't understand the mechanics, stop messing with the gearworks.
I know. I did notice that over this season. Also, the theme of death and resurrection was huge this time around.
Yes, and the turnabout, death being part of life, and it's going to happen, and it happens all the time.
Yeah.
So it's something that, don't be so afraid of it. It's gonna happen sooner or later. It's what's gonna happen, unless you're a Time Lord. And even then, sometimes it's a sketchy question.
Yeah, because we've already been to Trenzalore, and that's not his grave anymore.
Right? Yeah, that's, timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly. You never know what's going to happen. Especially when the Impossible Girl is involved.
I know.
It's been a lot of twists like, really? How'd that work? Oh, Impossible Girl. Okay, moving on.
All right, fine. Moving on. So next up was episode 8, Mummy on the Orient Express.
Yes, great send-up to Agatha Christie. For any Poirot fans out there who have read those books, it was an awesome send-up, and I immediately was just like, this is going to be good.
Well, it's also a throwback joke to the 11th Doctor. Because right after Amy and Rory's wedding, he answers a phone call on the TARDIS, and he's like, oh, what? There's a mummy on the Orient Express in space? I'll get back to that later.
Yeah, like, I'll put you on hold. Time Lord, I'll get back to you.
And then he eventually does come back to it.
Yes,
one of the
just
few
in
times
another
that
body.
one of the few times that the Doctor's like, "Oh, I'm going to take care of that later," and actually goes back and takes care of it.
Right. It's like, oh yeah, there was that side quest I meant to do. I have time for that now. Come on.
I mean, he's been putting off fixing the chameleon circuit for how long now?
Right. Yeah, it's been a while. He keeps putting stuff off.
Yeah.
But yeah, this episode was intended to be Clara and the Doctor's last hurrah. It was yet another part of this season where it was the constant breakup between the Doctor and Clara.
Yeah.
So this was supposed to be this is the last thing we're going to do. It's not going to be dangerous. It's just going to be a pleasant little train ride through the galaxy. Very quaint. And of course, the Doctor, as always, has ulterior motives.
He's like, I heard that there was a mummy on this train. I gotta see
I
this.
might have known something about this. I thought it could potentially be dangerous, but I wasn't really sure. I was kind of hoping it was, but you're not helping.
Doctor going on holiday must be just like, it's not boring. He's like, oh, I'm gonna go on holiday. Well, we're gonna end up at Skaro. Why would you do holiday there? Nobody thought of doing holiday there.
Nobody will look for me here. Yeah, like Davros will be looking everywhere else but here. But I mean, there were some very poignant lines that came out of this episode. Much about letting go of your fear, your aggression. It was very, very Jedi themed. Fear will lead to hatred, and Clara says hatred is a strong emotion to waste on somebody you don't like. Like, yes, exactly, because you're letting them occupy your mind, and it's just not worth your energy. And Another time, somebody was lamenting about life would be so much simpler if you liked the right people.
Yeah.
And that little hint of addiction, like, oh, she's debating whether or not, she really needs to just not be with the doctor and stop adventuring about with him.
Because
but it's
I mean,
so
there's
much fun.
Danny, the love of her life, is
Right.
back at home, being like, "I'm just waiting for you." I mean, for me, waiting is like 5 minutes, and you'll be gone for 2 days. But whatever, I'm waiting.
Right, and I did come up with one question because at some point she's speaking to Danny on the phone, and all I could think of is what could the potential charges incurred be for interdimensional roaming? I mean, that must be unbelievable.
It's actually not, because it's done through the TARDIS itself.
Oh, okay. So it's literally its own service provider.
Yeah.
Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense then. But that's all I could think of was
Nope.
like, oh my God, AT&T must be having a field day.
At the same time, they're looking down at the bill, going,
How?
"Where is that planet?
Did we have cell towers out there?
Is that a town in like Wales? I don't get this. Is she in Siberia? None of these names make sense."
Right. Where is this being pirated from? But and transitioning to the other remote, the actual storyline between besides Clara and the Doctor is the mummy that is killing people on the train,
Yeah.
and nobody can see it, and it's a throwback to the Curse of the Mummy, where once you see the mummy, you only have 66 seconds to live. And nobody else can see what's happening, so it becomes the murder mystery. And the questions are, you find out that the onboard computer running the train, Gus, is a nefarious agent being slave to somebody else who wants research on the mummy and trying to capture it. And
I know.
I didn't catch it. I'd never caught that it was fully explained who exactly was behind Gus, but
It's never explained.
leads you to believe from the rest of the season the continued reappearance of the lady in black, who
Yes.
obviously thinks of the Doctor as, quote, her boyfriend.
Yeah, and keeps referring to herself as Missy.
Yes.
And I was just like, all right, who is this?
We haven't met this person. What is her damage? Is it another River Song kind of thing where she knows more about what's going on than the Doctor does? 'Cause
Exactly.
he hasn't met her yet.
Right. But she's met him a long time ago.
Yes, and you keep getting continued ideas that she is completely off her rocker.
Oh, just a little. Just a little bit.
So, and they, in the course of things, they find out, okay, yes, everybody on the train is a scientist or a researcher specifically there. They've all been kind of manipulated into being there at the same time to try and capture this mummy and figure out its secrets so that somebody can weaponize it.
Yeah.
And there's a brilliant appearance by Tom Bamber, who I know from HBO's Rome. He played Cicero, one of the Roman senators, and it took me half the episode to peg him before I buckled and looked it up on IMDb and went, of course, now I recognize him. He's not wearing a toga, and he's got a mustache. Yes, that guy. He's, I really enjoy his performance. He's the uptight, and he's the captain.
You remember Rome that well?
I loved
There
the
were only
series.
2 seasons.
It was, yeah, there was only 2 seasons,
The
but
second season moved way too quickly for me.
well, they kind of lost funding and they had to wrap things up.
Yeah.
They were kind of running out of storylines unless
I mean-
they followed Octavian farther on. But I've always been a fan of like Roman history and ancient Greek history and the mythology behind it. And I was the geek in high school who took Latin class
Oh, okay.
just because he wanted to take Latin because he thought it was kind of cool. And taking Latin is not cool. Let's just clarify that right now. Unless you're going to be a priest, a doctor, or a wizard, take Spanish, okay?
And if you're going to become a wizard, also, you definitely should learn Germanic. Yeah.
Yes, depending on which branch. If you want to be a necromancer, you should probably bulk up on your Germanic or your Caribbean.
What's wrong with trying to raise a family?
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And speaking of raising a family, the mummy turns out to just be alien tech. It's a soldier wired up with alien technology, and they figured out that, okay, the only way to win this battle is to literally not play the game and give up. As soon as you surrender to him, he has no reason to kill you because he is just a soldier, and he's been fighting this tech as well. And the moment they do that, he turns to dust, and Yeah, the doctor once again saves multiple people. Okay, yeah, a couple of few died, and
Well-
they couldn't be helped. That was necessary because they needed the information. So, again, back to you're going to win, but how much are you going to be willing to sacrifice? How many people
Right.
are you going to let fall by the wayside in order to save the grand majority?
Which is why we get that wonderful time at the very end of it where he's like, decisions had to be made.
Yeah.
Just because both decisions were not very good decisions doesn't mean that you stop making decisions.
Right. Sometimes no decision is the correct one. There are no good ones, but you
Yeah.
still have to decide.
All right. Quick stretch.
Stretch it out. Stretch it out.
Marathon. Okay. Episode 9.
Flatline, Invasion of the 2D People.
Oh, I
Which-
love Dr. Clara.
Yes, this was totally Clara being the doctor and learning what it is to lie to people, to manipulate them into doing what they have to do in
Yep.
order to save their own stupid lives,
Yes.
even the people you do not like. And just having to take charge and really getting a feel for what it's like to just have to go through what he goes through. And of course the ever shrinking TARDIS due to the
2D,
the 2D
creatures,
aliens
just
and creatures.
drawing all that energy from it.
Right, drawing the dimensional energy and trying to force their way into the 3D realm. Mm-hmm. And there again are the Doctor always trying to not assume and not judge. Hey, how do we know that they're not just trying to communicate with us? They
Or
may not
they're
even
running away
know.
from something even even bigger threat.
Right, or they don't even know they're hurting us.
Yeah.
In any way. Like, what do you mean? Your nervous system is now a mural on the friggin' wall. So? What's the problem? But then trying to communicate with them and finding out, like, nope, don't even know if they're aware of it. They are clearly just trying to take us out for whatever reason. They're not really communicating much with us.
This is
Their
not
only
a-
messages were the calls of who they were going to take out next.
That was it.
And that was it.
Oh, the Doctor's speech when he... Okay, I love the fact that, like, the TARDIS just keeps becoming smaller and smaller. That was a pretty awesome. The fact that it was technically a Doctor Light episode where, the Doctor's not there for it. It's like Blake.
Yeah, the Doctor's there, but he's not the focal point. He's taken out of the picture by one shape or another.
Yeah, he's not part of the main story. He's there, he's a peripheral, and that's it. But when he finally comes out of there and he just... that speech, I was like, you're letting your 10 show again.
Again, just this is my planet. It is protected, and I don't care. You have messed with my people, and I don't care if you can understand me or not. You are clearly a monster, and I'm gonna take you out.
You're going home now.
Now, get off my planet. Yeah, and it's very much the Doctor coming out as the cavalry and naming them the Boneless.
Yes.
Like, I'm the first one, and I hereby curse you with this name. It was very much that sort of speech, and you may think you're bad, but you have no idea what you're dealing with here.
He's like, you may think you're bad, but let me just go ahead and run down the things that I've done. Do you got time for this? No? Okay, well, you guys have a great day.
Right, but
Run
even
away.
then, backing it up whenever it gets so small and Clara loses the TARDIS,
Yeah.
and it lands on the train tracks. One, okay, the Doctor becoming Thing from the Addams Family, that was hysterical.
Yes.
For anybody who remembers the Addams Family, if you weren't rolling on the floor at that point, you just have no sense of humor.
I looked at that and I was like, huh, that's okay. That's what we're doing. You know what? Congratulations, guys.
Bravo.
You went there. We're doing this good.
Yes. Yeah, and it was one of the few light moments in the episode. And Clara coming to the realization, and what would the Doctor do? And rule number 1 of the Doctor: use your enemy's power against them.
Yes.
Which is he's very kung fu like that. He just redirects the power, usually back at the people, and then it's their undoing. But by the end of the episode, Clara's coming to grips about, well, did I do okay? Was I a good doctor? And, would you just say? And the doctor looks at her and says, you were an exceptional doctor, Clara. Goodness had nothing to do with it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, and we just went dark again.
No.
Well, I mean, yeah, true, but you had to lie and manipulate your way into it, and some people died trying to save the rest, and but the jerk bag got to live when somebody else nicer had to die.
The jerk bag of the episode is the one that dies.
Yes, because that's, take him out. That's kind
Karma.
of what society karma, society demands it. We don't like him, get rid of him. But in this case, the major jerk bag actually lives, and that's the point. It's you can't pick and choose who you save. You either save them all or save none of them.
Right.
And everybody knowing the doctor, it's not even an option not to attempt to save them, whether they deserve, quote unquote, to be saved or not. That's not your choice to make.
Nope.
And then, of course, we have another guest appearance by the woman in black.
Yes.
Just to pop in and remind you that she's there and drive you nuts, going, "Who is she?" Because they keep not dropping any hints about it.
Yeah,
and it's
we don't.
Infuriating.
It is really infuriating. It was so. God, come on, just give me something.
Give me something. Give me any kind of hint. Just give me anything. Where is she? What is she dealing with? What is her purpose? Is the doctor really her boyfriend?
Now, for me, I actually, one of the Doctor Who Facebook groups that I was part of at the time, I called it after the first episode. One of the guys was just like, "Oh, she's a time lord. It's the Ronnie," and I was like, "No, it's the Master." He was like, "Haha, very funny. They're not going to do that." And as the season kept going on, he kept bringing evidence that it was the Ronnie instead. Ronnie being a female Time Lord who was also an adversary to the Doctor. Showed up in one story. That's it. I don't know what happened to this person after. But he kept bringing up that evidence regarding that. And I was just like, no, it's the Master. It's the Master. And he was... Yeah, we went back and forth for about another year because he still refused to accept it. Last time I said anything to him, he was just like, "Yeah, no, I just refuse to accept it." I was like, "Oh, all right, well then enjoy your little bubble."
Right. But there again, up until this point, they really don't drop any hints.
No,
they were very, very close to the vest with those cards. And even going into episode 10,
yes,
in the Forest of the Night, she pops up, but it's you get the feeling she has something to do with death in general, so you begin to question, okay, who is she? Is she actually like some sort of incarnation of death itself that is kind of has a reverse Deadpool thing going on here where she can't have the Doctor and he keeps flirting with her because he almost dies so many times, but and you start to question that a little bit, but again, just not really coming across as who she is, other than the fact that she has an apparent serious infatuation with the Doctor.
Yes.
But again, we're not sure, okay, is she ill-intended, or is this somebody he knows and she's just kind of like flirting with him again in a very roundabout way, but she keeps saving everybody who apparently dies. What happens?
Yeah. One of the things that next episode 10 in the Forest of the Night, I'm going to be honest, did not totally enjoy this episode. But at the same time, it wasn't like, to me, this was a filler episode for the season.
Yeah, it kind of was. It was very much the fairy tale episode.
I was like, all right, well, here's a fun little thing.
Yeah, it's much like the Robin Hood episode from earlier.
Yeah.
This was just, okay, we kind of have to move things along a little bit, move the relationship between Clara and Pink along.
Yep.
But it was just riddled with fairy tale references right from the get-go. The Enchanted Forest pops up in the middle of London.
Yeah. There's trees
always-
everywhere.
Yeah.
Literally trees
Just
everywhere.
covers the entire planet overnight. Just massive forest everywhere, even in the ocean zones, because they do a pan out of
I know.
of the earth, and even where the oceans are, it's nothing but green. Like, those are some tall trees right there.
That sprung up pretty quickly.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Oh, that escalated quickly. But it's just rife with fairy tale references. The little girl Maeve, who hears voices and is waving her hands about her head, is clearly Red Riding Hood.
Yes.
Especially after, the animals in the zoo break out, so the wolves come running.
She's chased by the wolves.
She's chased by the wolves, and then the wolves run off because there's a tiger right behind her, and all they needed was, a bear, and it's like, okay, now we've gone Wizard of Oz. And it turns out, okay, the trees are actually there trying to protect the earth, and the little girl isn't nuts because she can actually see all these thought patterns, and when the doctor slows down gravity, again, we're just gonna accept that that's the doctor's solution and move right along.
Yep.
And it slows them down, and they look like pixies or
Sprites.
of some kind. They're the nature, fairy
Nymphs.
godmothers.
Yeah.
Who were there to protect things, and they're the caretakers of the forest. And it's just, like I said, it's just one fairy tale reference after another. Yeah. And I actually thought it was like, okay, this must be the Arbor Day episode, because this is clearly the don't cut down the trees, don't burn the trees, save the trees, save the trees. It's
the trees are worth something.
Yeah, it's the environmental episode, and oh look, the trees are going to protect the entire planet from a solar flare. Totally wouldn't happen.
No.
If the flare was that big, we would need the doctor there. We would probably need all 13 doctors there.
Well, because it would knock out everything.
Oh, yeah, it would just
mechanics wouldn't work.
Yeah, the EMP alone would send us back into the Dark Ages, and
yeah,
that
I mean,
in
the
and of
trees
itself. And
might
then
be
we've
able to
got
protect the people, but that's it.
Yes.
Life's not going on the next day.
Life as we know it would be ended.
I wouldn't be able to continue producing this show.
Yeah.
Where would I get my porn?
Right. And oh, had to totally throw off the co-host train of thought.
Yeah.
But again, there's the re-theme of the companion's willingness to sacrifice themselves for the doctor, because before they figure out that the trees are there to protect the planet and to create basically a pressure shield. Clara sends the doctor into the TARDIS, like, no, we're not going with you.
Nope.
You go. This time humanity is saving you.
Yeah.
And
if this is a planet killer, you need to get out of here now.
yeah. Well, I can save the kids. We'll all get in. No, because they need to be with their parents. Well, I can save you and Danny.
No.
Danny will never leave the children. I can save you.
I'm not leaving Danny.
Don't make me say it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the last of my kind. And
Like,
there you could
yeah.
just see like ooh, right in the chest.
Oh, that was deep. Oh.
Again, wow, we went really dark all of a sudden. Again, Jesus.
What is it about this season? Things getting like super dark.
Well, again, I think it's the ongoing theme of, am I a good man? Are these sacrifices worth the overall win? Are the means worth the results?
Yes.
And can people live with that? Not only the doctor, can Clara, can humanity, can everybody live with the result of having to do these things whether they want to or not, because there's no easy way out of it.
Nope.
But there's then the counterpoint that comes from Maeve when she's communing with the pixies. The trees are here to save us, so we need to fear a bit less, trust a bit more, have a little faith that we'll make it through. Don't fall not to the dark side.
Yes.
Because there's always hope. You only need that one chance out of 1,000.
I did love how positive the message was out of this episode.
Yes. So, I mean, while it wasn't like really story driven,
Not
really
much
crucial
happened.
to the overall season arc, there were still those little poignant moments that kept reinforcing the themes.
Yeah.
Which was good. And just to see, you know, for anybody who grew up with like Grimm's fairy tales or whatnot, it's nice to be like, oh, I see what they did there. Right on. Right on. That was cool. I get it. And moving on to Dark Water, episode 11.
It's the 2-part season finale, really.
Yes, it is. It is the 2-part season finale, and going into this episode once again, who is the lady in black? By this point, you're just nuts, going like, all right, who is she? Enough. Reveal.
Yeah.
Reveal. And the episode starts off once again very, very deep, and it's Clara trying to tell Pink that she loves him and to talk about all of this stuff, and she finally blurts it out and declares her love and just says, you know, I love you. Those 3 words are yours alone from me now. You're the only person I'm going to say that to. And then Danny doesn't answer, and she gets, okay, you know, say something to me, Danny. And Danny doesn't answer, and then the old woman picks up the phone and lets her know that Danny was just killed in a car accident. And again, it's just like, dark, so fast, dark.
Yeah.
Oh my word.
That I mean, my note on that, you know, is Clara notes. Way too many for a simple conversation. A lot of them are tied into previous episodes. You know, what had happened throughout these adventures since she had met Danny.
Right, and including the fact that she'd been lying to him about going off with the doctor. He thought she was just, you know, being her. She's kind of eccentric and erratic, whatever, but she's totally sneaking off with the doctor behind his back and not telling him about it.
Right.
And yeah, and it just leads to Clara going about and basically trying to manipulate the doctor into changing the timelines by taking all of the TARDIS keys.
Yeah.
And then thinking she's going to knock him out on this volcano planet and destroy the keys if he won't change it.
Until he agrees to go back to save Danny.
Right. And it comes down to it, and he keeps telling her, no, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it. And she tosses all the keys in and totally breaks down. And at that point, he's like, yeah, I was really just testing you. Look in your hand. And he had
all the keys,
reversed the stim patch on her and put her into a dream state. And he just picks up all the keys off the TARDIS floor. And then it becomes, I can't believe you did that. You betrayed me. You let me down. And, well, will you help me? What are we going to do? And he just, without looking up from the keyboard, just go to hell. Like, whoa! Wow! Drop the mic! Holy crap!
That's
okay.
harsh.
And she accepts it and is like, fair enough. You know, okay.
I deserve
fine.
that.
And starts to walk out the door, and he looks up and he's confused. What are you doing? You asked me what we're going to do. We're going to hell. And he's like, oh, he's totally pulling the Orpheus. He's gonna go and try and drag him out of hell or wherever he happens to be.
I'm gonna find out where Danny is right now.
And yeah, and Clara's totally dumbfounded after what I just betrayed you. I just totally stabbed you in the back. You're still going to help me. And his response was, do you think I care for you so little that betraying me would make a difference? And it's like, okay, again, the depths that the Doctor loves humanity and has such deep feelings for Clara personally and his companions in general. Like, it doesn't matter. You're a pudding brain. I knew you would have the potential to pull something like this. Yeah. I can't believe you did. I'm so disappointed in you, but you need this. Let's go do this. And it just crystallizes back again and is like, okay, he really is the grumpy grandpa who will just give you hell and then totally drag you out of whatever hole you've dug yourself into.
And then we're fixing this.
Yes, and then we're fixing this. He's still going to give you hell, but...
Oh, yeah. For this episode, there was so much emotion in here. You find out about Danny's bad day.
Yes, Danny taking out the small boy in the middle of combat.
And then meeting the small boy face to face.
Right.
It was like, oh, come on. That just... Do we need to be stabbed in the heart twice in an episode?
Yes, apparently several times, particularly in this episode.
Yes.
So you've got that emotion, and then whenever they find out, okay, Danny is in the Nether Sphere, wherever that happens to be located, because they just kind of teleport there. They don't know what planet they're on, where it is, and
no readings are coming out
just
to let them know.
Yeah, find themselves in this very creepy mausoleum where. It's filled with water, and you can see these skeletons sitting on thrones, and it's really, really creepy.
All right, that's pretty cool. Yep, totally cool.
And then the AI droid, quote unquote AI droid, makes the appearance, and it's the lady in black, and she introduces herself as basically a customer interface.
Yeah, it was random access neurological interface, spelling out Ronnie. Which once again threw Whovians off.
Fair enough.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, see, not having that background, I totally missed that. But and then another classic moment of Peter Capaldi's doctor just not wanting to be touched whatsoever, because she immediately plants this huge lingering kiss on him, and to the point where after she backs away, he has to ask Clara if it's over, because he's just so stymied.
Like, oh, that was violated me in so many ways.
Yes, and like, oh, would you like me to reduce my intimacy rating? Yes, do that immediately.
Please.
Now.
Thank you.
Yes, yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. Which then makes it even better when moments later, a couple of scenes later, she is revealed as the Master.
Oh my God.
Everybody thought was dead and taken out by David Tennant's doctor.
At the very least, sent back with the
rest
Lords.
of Gallifrey.
Yeah.
And so, and just knowing that, then, oh my God, he's back and he's a her. And she totally just, like, made out with the doctor to mess with him, just to mess with him.
I love that line that she has where she's like, yeah, I'm the Master. And she's like, I couldn't just keep calling myself the Master anymore.
Yeah,
I'm the Mistress now.
Yeah, Misty. It's short for Mistress.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, oh my God. Just such a huge reveal and a callback from one of his, basically almost like one of his Moriarty style arch nemesis. Arch nemesi? I don't know.
Nemesi?
Anyway, one of his arch villains, opponents, foils, whatever you want to call him, one of the big pegs.
Yeah.
Just suddenly re-emerging. It's like, oh, what?
You're back on the playing field? Well, okay, this changes the game.
Okay, and you are still just a special style of nuts.
For me, it's the Cybermen reveal.
That as well. The doctor, who would harvest dead bodies? It somehow seems so obvious. I hate missing something obvious. And it's like, oh God, yeah, it's the Cybermen, because it's X-ray water. Only organic material is
showing up through them.
So why wouldn't there be any flesh? Oh, damn it!
Why didn't I see this earlier?
Right, and then, the revelation of Missy using the Cybermen to effectively seed the clouds, or create clouds to make more Cybermen out of the dead bodies of Earth.
It's a whole zombie apocalypse. Only they're armored.
Right. Which, of course, answered the question, who would harvest dead bodies? Obviously, the Cybermen. I was leaning towards necromancers for a moment, but yeah, Cybermen, again, a callback from a classic Who villain type.
Yeah, I don't think Doctor Who is going to be introducing a true necromancer anytime soon.
You never know. We've dealt with the devil. We've gone to hell.
That's true.
We've come back. We have weeping angels. It may not necessarily be a true necromancer, but there'll be some Whovian explanation for it. I'm quite sure they could work that out. And of course, the episode ends with the Cybermen dispersing in the big reveal of who the Black Lady is, and at that point, of course, you're doing the oh my God dance. I can't believe this just happened. They're back.
Also, Danny's choice to sign off about basically disconnecting his consciousness.
Yes, whether to delete his personality or not.
Right. I love how that's
other cliffhanger.
That's, for me, that was the biggest cliffhanger. Also, the fact that you find out that the Necrosphere is actually is a version of the Gallifreyan Matrix.
Right, so it's basically the Time Lord internet, which is frightening.
It's the Time Lord hive mind where they all upload. Basically, at the end of your run, you upload yourself to that so that maybe you can be downloaded back into another body at a later date.
Right. The time, another way of the Time Lords to regenerate themselves in a roundabout way.
Keep staying immortal.
Right. And then, jumping right into the season finale, Death in Heaven, it's of course picks up right at the beginning with the mistress having her fun.
Yeah.
And then, Kate and Oswald showing up, or Osgood, excuse me, showing up and immediately going, "Oh, hi, how you doing?" Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Nope, we're unit. We're taking over here.
Yes, and restraining the master, and there's the nice little toss out to the Matt Smith doctor because Osgood's wearing a bow tie, and of course Peter Capaldi's nice bow tie, and she responds with "bow ties are cool." So it's like, all right, call back to the last Doctor. That's cool, because of course the last time we really saw Osgood was the Day of the Doctor, where she had the scarf. Yes, so again, it's that little callback of, okay, this person kind of represents the fandom.
Yeah, just a little bit. It's not obvious or anything.
No, not at all. Not in the least. It's very, very subtle, like a hammer. But then you get into, Danny has now been turned into a Cyberman, but it's a question of, is he under their control, or did he delete his personality, or is he still in there somewhere?
Right.
And the Cybermen, of course, seeding all of the graveyards and everywhere, turning them into any organic material into more Cybermen, basically just creating an infinite army.
Yeah.
The Doctor is made president of all humanity again, much to his sort of chagrin.
He absolutely hates it. I mean, at one point he was the president of Gallifrey. So, that's actually what he was running, what he's been always running away from. Is his responsibility as president of Gallifrey.
It's like, I'm not doing it. I have the galaxy to save.
See you guys. I'm leaving. I'm not part of this anymore. And they're like, but you're the head of everything. Don't care. I'm out.
Right. And of course, they all get on basically a command plane and make the mistake of bringing the villain along with them, of course, who the mistress eventually breaks free, picks the locks on her handcuffs, and the heart-wrencher for me, Osgood is killed by her. I had a long stream of swearing about that, because that really hit me hard.
And she was actually killed.
And yeah, she was really, really final death killed.
Dead.
Even to the point where moments later, whenever Kate is sucked out of the plane, it was just like, all right, yeah, we lost Kate too, whatever.
You're like, oh no, Kate.
Yeah.
No, come back.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, and one more. Okay, whip-de-dang.
I'll go back to the beach for you, Kate.
And then it goes on. They get on the plane, or Clara finally finds Danny, and he's a Cyberman, and they have that confrontation.
Yep.
Where he pulls the mask off, and he's obviously augmented, and
he is not happy about that. Yeah.
And asking Clara to turn on the inhibitor so he doesn't feel emotions anymore.
Because it's just so heart-wrenching at this moment. Because he's in physical pain. He's in emotional pain because he knows he's dead.
Yes.
And there's no getting out of being a Cyberman at this point. He's like, I'm going to kill you. That's everything inside of me is telling me to kill you. And I'm trying to suppress that. I need you to turn it off.
Yeah, and of course the Doctor's argument of, no, if you do that, he'll become completely Cyberman.
Yeah,
and
he'll kill you immediately.
He'll kill you immediately.
Clara's sitting there going, if I can't live with my Danny, I won't live at all. It gets really melodramatic for a second.
And the Doctor trying to convince him, don't turn off the inhibitor. Pain is a gift. It lets you know you're alive. It makes everything else more poignant. And then Danny, wanting the emitter turned on, drops the horrible decision on him. Oh yeah, well, if you turn it on, I'll be able to give you a tactical outlay of what the Cybermen are playing, because I'll be hooked into them at that point.
I'll be in, and until I'm no longer in control, I can tell you everything.
Right.
And then the Doctor's like,
Oh, come on! Yeah, it's like, I have to know, and he's completely shattered because he needs that information to save the rest of the planet, but he can't possibly, after just spewing these very poetic words about how you can't do that, it's maintain your humanity. Now I have to ask you to do that, and I really can't come to grips with having to do that. So then Clara takes the responsibility, again, her stepping up into the person who has to make the impossible decision role, being the Dr. Light, basically.
Because the doctor's like, I'm not going to be the one that turns it off, but I want the information.
Right, but I can't make that call.
Yeah.
Pink calls him out again, saying, "Yep, getting somebody else to do your dirty work."
Oh, come on!
I get it, officer.
Again.
And that comes down to, after that happens, and Danny basically sacrifices himself with the rest of the Cybermen in order to save the planet. And it's called back later on, like, he didn't save the planet, he saved Clara. Everybody else was just lucky enough to be there.
I do like the fact that once the inhibitor's turned off, you realize that he has such a willpower that Danny stays. Danny never disappears. Ends up being actually in control of all of it, taking the control away from Missy. I thought that was, like, those little reveal moments right at the end where it was just like, yeah, Missy, you're not in control anymore.
Yeah, you weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
You were too busy gloating. We caught you monologuing.
Pretty much. She gets destroyed.
Yeah, quote unquote. It's always the theory of, you don't see the body, they're not dead for good.
Another awesome thing was realizing that Kate's father came back in this episode. The Brigadier came back in this episode.
Right, as a Cyberman, because he actually catches her when she falls out of the sky.
Yep.
Which, again, very, very cool. But total tease, because I thought that meant Osgood was going to come back as well. It's like, we're saving everybody. Oh, come on!
No, not Osgood. Okay. All right.
Damn it.
But I do like, earlier there was the one thing that Kate said, that the one thing that the Brigadier always wished was that the Doctor would salute him. Because the Doctor was like, nope, I don't salute military. That's not what I want to do. That's not who I am. I don't respect the fact that you guys are trained to kill. That's not, nope. And then at the end of it, he salutes the Brigadier. And I'm just like, Brigadier got a salute?
Right.
There's a lot of pollen in the air. Dust in here too. Oh, God.
Yeah, just that moment of the Doctor dropping a little respect. Because so many people had died. Thank you for saving Kate, because again, he actually does care.
Yeah,
he's not just doesn't look at people as pawns.
Nope.
He will sometimes use people as pawns if he has to,
he
doesn't want to do that.
Right. The end of it with both the Doctor and Clara lying to each other.
Yes, to let each other off the hook.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to hurt each other anymore. They want to see the other person go off and be happy.
Be happy. She's like, no, you go on, get out of here. And he's like, you go do the same thing. And that whole, why does the Doctor not like hugs?
Yeah, never trust a hug, because it's just a way to hide your face.
Yeah. And both of them are just like, oh.
Man. Tearing up, and it's a very poignant end with, again, back to the sacrifice and what would you do to protect what is yours.
And then the coolest thing happens.
And then Nick Frost shows up as Santa Claus. Let me just state my absolute adoration of Nick Frost. I just adore him. The work he does with Simon Pegg, the work he does on his own. That was just the absolute best ending to a finale I could conjure up. And of course, him being Santa Claus makes perfect sense to me. Which then, of course, led directly into The Last Christmas, which is episode 13, the Christmas episode.
So, a little story about why Nick... Well, the want he had to be on Doctor Who was because Simon had already been on the show. And he was like, come on! Simon's been on the show. What? Get me on the show. Get me on the show. And years later...
I'll do anything.
Yeah, finally gets on the show. And they're like, you want to be Santa Claus? I'll do anything!
Absolutely, I want to be Santa Claus. Absolutely. And, yeah, right from the get-go, you get his humor coming through right away, him bickering with the elves about picking up the tangerines, and nobody really likes the tangerines, and he's real offended, like, oh, shush you. and trying to talk his way out of, no, I'm not Santa Claus. Why would you ever think I'm Santa Claus? No, is it Christmas? I don't even know about
I
these
don't know.
things. They're just rooftop people doing rooftop things.
Yes, of course.
And then the doctor shows up. I know exactly what's going on. I know exactly what's at stake. Well, save room for a tangerine, doctor. Nobody likes the tangerines. And then right into the opening credits. It's just hysterical.
I thought that was great.
And then you get into it, and all of a sudden it becomes Alien.
Yeah.
With the face
There's
huggers
face
coming
huggers.
down, and the quote unquote, we'll say the stoner technician.
Yep.
Boogieing down to rock Christmas songs, and you're just going, what is going on here? Okay, obviously something's on the gurneys that's going to eat this chick.
Yes.
But, huh? And then immediately they get attacked, and the doctor and Clara show up, and the doctor being inquisitive and not cautious whatsoever, ever.
Nope.
They all get attacked by creatures coming down, and it becomes the Inception episode, where it's the dreams within the dreams within the dreams, and how do you know when you're actually awake and what you're not?
Yeah.
One of the best lines for me was, you know what the big problem is telling fantasy and reality apart? They're both ridiculous. Like, absolutely true. That's going on a pinpoint somewhere.
Yeah.
And just, again, it's accepting your fears instead of trying to push them down or project them somewhere else, and accepting what has actually happened and the sacrifices that have been made to get you to that point. Because, of course, Clara goes within the dream where she's having the last Christmas with Pink.
Yeah.
And keeps getting messages from the doctor trying to wake her up, but she doesn't want to wake up.
Nope.
Because that's exactly what the brain crab,
Yeah.
the dream crab, wants them to believe, and keeps lulling them back. And the doctor has to physically go into the dream and put himself on the line to try and drag her out.
I love the fact that it gets to a point where she finally just says to the doctor, she's like, I know it's a dream. I know this is all fantasy. Because I know Danny's dead.
Right.
So, but I don't want to leave. And it was just like, oh.
And then Danny has to talk her
And
into
then,
it.
yeah,
going,
and then
"You
he's
know
like,
I'm a
no,
dream."
get out of here.
Yeah. I wouldn't want this for you.
Yeah.
This is bonus. This is extra time.
This
I'm
can happen
already
anytime.
dead, but at least you're here this time.
Yeah.
So it gives Clara the closure. And then they get out of that and then have to figure out, oh, wait, we're still in the dream.
Oh.
Now, how do we get out of this? And it comes back to Santa Claus is here to save you. Do you believe in Santa Claus? How much more evidence do you need? I'm friggin' Santa Claus in front of you.
Hello.
Who you gonna call? And he keeps throwing out the Ghostbusters reference. It's the North Pole. It's Christmas Eve. Who you gonna call? And again, somebody calls out, hey, so you're trying to say you're a dream that's trying to save us? Sweetheart, I'm Santa Claus. I think you just defined me. Like, yeah, okay, that's pretty true. Pretty true. And of course, Santa Claus saves the day and gets them all to wake up, and then they have to wake up again because, again, it's just another layer the crabs have put on them, and the doctor has to figure out, oh crap, this isn't it. But he only figures that out after going to save Clara, and she's 62. So now it's like the Peter Pan
He's like, oh.
ending where, Peter has come back and Wendy Darling is now an old lady and a grandmother.
It's like, wait, that's not the way this is supposed to be going right now.
Right, and it was just one of those, okay, so I guess we are getting a new companion at the end of this season, because
Yes.
I don't think the old gray dame is, and she was dreaming. And we'll
it was
just
in a dream.
scratch that out. Okay, yep, nope, totally dreaming, Peter Pan ending, and now we're actually awake, and everybody, we know we're awake, because Santa Claus has now driven us home on his sleigh.
Yes.
And you get the backstory. One of the scientists is actually like a grandmother, and One of them is a very uptown person, and the stoner chick. Well, she's a stoner chick.
Yes, she totally is, and she loves the movie Alien.
Yeah, she picks up her itinerary for Christmas Day, and it's to watch Aliens, and then A Creature from Beyond, and then 34th Miracle on 34th Street, and like, okay, she was controlling a lot of this dream.
This was really her dream.
Yeah, how the doctor didn't, because he was probably the first one pulled into it. How he didn't
Have total control.
have total control of it is funny. The crabs just picked and choosed. I guess, okay, this is the most outlandish shit we can find. Let's do this.
I do love the fact that the doctor takes like total offense to the movie Alien.
That's so offensive. No wonder you keep getting invaded. Like, okay, fair enough.
That's the moment of, but fair enough.
Yeah, I got
Okay.
nothing. I got nothing.
You win on this one.
Right, but I did like at the end of it, though, to kind of wrap the season, was the doctor taking the reins of Santa's sleigh.
Yes.
And his 10 really slipped out there. Really slipped bad, because it was just so boyish and childlike and just pure joy and whimsical, and just letting go and just having a good time for just a moment.
Yep.
Just a moment, knowing like, okay, I still have this crab sucking on my brains, but
Yeah.
I'm waking up. Life is kind of okay right now, because we're gonna be okay.
I'm gonna go have fun now.
Yeah, and it's just that childlike joy of Christmas that keeps coming back in all the Christmas episodes.
Yeah, there was a production-wise, there was a rumor that this was the last episode for Jenna Coleman. So of course they were writing Clara out of the series.
Right.
It was not her last episode.
It was not, because yes, she definitely stays with the doctor.
Yeah. She actually signed a 1-year extension. Like,
Excellent.
I think it was a month before the episode aired, so they had to actually go back and refilm part of the ending
To make it wrap up that she would stick with the doctor.
Yep.
Oh,
Because
that's
I'm
good.
willing to bet that Peter Pan ending was going to be her final ending.
Right, which would have made
It would have been a
total
great
sense.
close that she's like, no, this is Danny and my time. I'm going to stay here. I'd be like, well, okay.
Yeah.
This is how her that would have been a great ending. But the producers and all that, the writing room basically wanted to cement Clara as more, the dynamic with her and 12 was going to be more like, companion to the third Doctor and the fourth Doctor, Sarah Jane, who had her own Chronicles, her own show for a little bit during 10's run. But yeah, they wanted to cement that. So they were like, all right, we need one more season. This was a shaky season overall. Kind of was a rushed season. Series 9, we're going to really cement her as the character. And I was like, all right. I mean, you threw her through, basically a blender by having her meet Danny, fall in love, and then kill him in the most mundane way possible.
After getting over the heartbreak of realizing that she wouldn't be with the doctor because of his regeneration from Matt Smith to Peter Capaldi, and just having her mind blown and heart ripped out from that.
Right.
Because it's the death of the fantasy, basically. And then recreating their dynamic.
Yeah.
And, yeah, living with Capaldi's doctor is not the easiest of things, so she's really been through the ringer this season.
Yeah.
But also really come into command of her own.
Yeah, she becomes a very,
Self.
very strong character. She completely stands up to the doctor. She's not like, the companion that just follows and goes, hey, what's this? Hey, what's this? Instead, she's kicking open doors going, what's in here? And he's like, come back here.
Yeah, stop that. That's my job.
I'm supposed to be doing that. And she's like, well, you didn't do it fast enough.
Right. So, yeah, so coming to the end of season 8, I'm very much looking forward to the return of the independently cross eyebrows.
Yes.
And to see, like, what do we go on from here? What is the mistress is still kicking around out there? What's her role going to be in the next season? And
just wait.
How far is Jenna gonna let Capaldi take her down the rabbit hole?
Right.
How much shit is she going to take? How much shit is she going to give him back? Because that is very much their relationship. They definitely push each other back and forth.
Yes.
Keep each other on their toes. Obviously, the Clara more so than the Doctor is on her toes because, well, that's life as a companion. Let's face it, kids. We've seen this show.
Also, she wears really high shoes. I don't know if you know this. Clara is 5 foot. Jenna is 5'2". She's a tiny little thing
Compared to Capaldi's 6 foot what?
No, I believe he's actually 5'10", 5'11". He's about my height.
Okay, either way, there's about a foot difference between the two of them.
There is still and Matt Smith is 6 feet on the dot. So it was just like, yeah, having the two of them, she most likely, anytime that they had to stand right next to each other, was standing on a book.
Was on a book or up on a box or something.
Like, here you go. That way we don't have his head at the very top of the screen and your head just peeking over the bottom.
Yeah, just at like belt buckle level. Sends the wrong messages, or maybe the right messages, depending on what point of the season. She might not have had a problem with it.
Hey, Jenna Coleman's a beautiful, beautiful woman. Anyway, so that's it. We wrapped up Series 8. Next week we're gonna couple of episodes. We're gonna space out some more of Series 9 before.
Yes, I will.
And 10.
I will still be catching up on Series 9.
Okay.
And we'll see how far I can marathon through.
Okay. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for checking us out this week. Matt, I'll see you next week.
I will be here, sir.
All right. Guys, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, notification button, like button, write a comment. I don't know what you can fill in whatever comment you want. You liked it? You liked it. You didn't? You didn't. But hit the like button anyway. I need more likes.
Smash everything you can see except for that down thumb button.
Yeah, no, not that one.
Don't like that one.
Nope. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We'll be checking you out next week. Have fun.
Bye.